Okay, hello everyone. This is Colloquy, as you know, and here is the microphone with Randy.
Okay. Hello, guys. Uh, Really nice to be here. Yeah. So I really hope this is going to be as much beneficial as it can be for both of us. So yeah, my name is Randy or Muhammad, in case you don't know, and I'm 26, and I believe that's it.
Nice introduction, I will say. Good one. Uh, I think the last guest was like sending you uh, a question, so I will say
Yeah.
it to you, and let's see if
Mm.
you let's see the answer. What's a cultural tradition or a practice from another country that you find fascinating?
A tradition from another country that I find fascinating.
Yes.
Right. Well, the thing is, I'm really not into other cultures uh, and other countries, to be honest. I know this might sound weird a little bit, but I've never been interested in traveling abroad or going outside of Egypt. Uh, so I really don't have any answer at all. Like, I've tried to think about this. I even tried to, you know, search and look for, unique or uh, you know, amazing traditions from other cultures, but nothing really caught my attention. So
Mm,
I kind
I
of,
will.
mm,
I think I can help you with this. Do you remember the
yeah.
thing you told me before about fascinating thing about Japanese culture when he wanted to tell the woman without telling her that
Oh,
he
that's
loved her?
actually, yeah, that's really
Tell us.
it's nice to say. It's not something I would do myself, honestly, but it's something that I've heard. Maybe people who are into anime or Japanese movies, maybe they already know about this. But in the Japanese culture, if someone loves someone and they don't really want to say it directly, they say something in Japanese, which I don't know, but the equivalent in English is um, the moon looks nice or amazing or lovely, isn't it? So they just admire how the moon is at night, but they actually showing the love to the other person, but not saying it directly. So if you guys have crush, towards anyone, just say that, and you know, uh, it will work out.
Top-notch tips, guys, from Andy.
Yeah, yeah, there's
Yeah.
plenty of ways to say this in English. There is exact words that you can say in Japanese, which I'm not really familiar with, but yeah, that's kind of was weird to know.
Nice. It's really good thing to know. Like now, I think I can flirt more with people. Thank you for this
Yeah,
knowledge.
I think.
Okay. Yeah, the thing we spoke about before is
Yeah,
ignorance is a blessing or a curse. And was the sentence we started it with me and you. So let's repeat the question again. Is ignorance is a blessing or a curse for you?
ignorance being a blessing or not. Hmm.
Hmm.
Okay. Uh, Here's the thing. I will never give you a fixed answer to any question you might ask or any philosophical question you might ask. You will never have a fixed answer from me because everything is really situational and everything is, depends on the settings, you know, the situation and really many factors out there. So, yes, it can be a blessing if you start ignoring certain things. and it would be mm, not, sometimes you really should, pay attention to what's going on around you, you know, stay up with what's happening around you. Sometimes you have to let go of things and never mind them if you want to maintain
Mm.
a healthy, state of mind, if you will.
You have a good point, I will say, but sometimes people choose ignorance.
Right. For everything you mean.
Some people, yeah, choose ignorance of like getting some information. But like I think, in my opinion, in this case, we need to know not everything, but a bit from everything. To not be ignorant at all, to be a little bit ignorant.
Right.
That's in my opinion in this
Um,
case.
um, okay, so you're kind of right, but again, unless we give out a certain clear example and then we discuss whether whether we should be ignorant of what's happening in that particular situation or else, we might not be able to get, I might not be able to give it a clear answer. But let me say generally that um, it's really hard to
Mm.
explain, but everything really is dependent on how you look at it. It's really dependent on your perspective. Okay.
Right.
Um, and the same situation, you could be, even if it happens twice, um, you could be looking at it from different angles, and every time you will uh, decide something differently. So maybe this time you will say, all right, I want to be completely ignorant of what's going on, or maybe no, I have to know something or two things, or maybe I need to know everything about it. So maybe if we can discuss a particular example, for example, um, that would be able to actually go
Yeah.
deeper.
If you want
Yeah.
to put out an example for you, go
All
for
right.
it.
Do you have any particular, or people, do you guys have any
No, no, I don't
particular
have.
example? But I think people might have particular example that they have been into and they were skeptical about whether they should be completely ignorant of the situation or otherwise. So, does anyone have a good example for this? Okay, think of one until one of you guys, maybe.
I think in this case, like, oh yeah, as an example, if you are working in a zoo, let's put this case.
I'm working in a zoo.
In a zoo, yes,
Right.
yes, and your type of work is to handle animal stuff. I will not say it anyway, but like in this
Right.
case, you don't want to tell your child that you're working with animal stuff
Right.
because in you don't want him to have this knowledge in his life, in early of his life anyway, but he will know eventually.
Right.
So I think in this case, ignorance is a bliss.
Right. So, um, I feel it's kind of like a different topic, which is
Yes,
how much of information should we share with other people, if at all, but if he's really a child, he's a newborn or something, I didn't really have to go into details with him until he is capable, uh, you know, intellectually to grasp and understand what I'm going to give him, what I'm going to tell him. So I have to, you know, um,
but like you will give a vivid answers in most of the time in this case if he asked about your work and stuff.
if he asks about my work, all I have to say, for example, is I'm just working in a zoo. I don't think they would ask themselves for more details at an
Um,
early age. But if they, for any reason, decide that they want to know more, eventually I will have to tell them uh, how things really are because there is nothing to hide unless, like, if something already I'm doing, then I have no problem everyone to know about it.
okay, let's point this out. But children in general are curious about
Right.
everything. They have a lot of questions and stuff. So
Mhm.
how do you can handle a child who is very curious about everything in life? Like he can ask you why the sky is blue. I don't know. Like you need to have every answer. How do you can handle this curious child?
Right. Um, right. So a rule of thumb is that whenever someone speaks with me or asks me a question, my answer, I try to tailor it for the person who asked the question. So if you ask me a particular question
Mhm.
right now, another person asking me the same question, I might give you two different answers because I know most of the time I'm able to know, or I would at least try to know why you're asking me that question, right? So
Interesting. Mm.
maybe that kid is asking me because he is wondering why there's several colors out there. There are different cars with different colors. So my answer here will be that people have different favorite things and people are interested in different things. Not everyone like the same color. So my answer would be something related to that people have different
Okay.
opinions and whatever. So um, that's going to be my answer. You might like blue, I might like red, that person might like whatever color. That's why colors exist, because here I understand that he want to know why there are different colors out there.
I think I will just say that it's a scientific term for it. Like it's a polygram,
Right.
and I really like a lot of colors around us because of every color have its right rays and stuff, and it's have
Right.
levels and things. So if we say
Well,
this to, of course, a kid, he can't understand. So you are you giving a right answer by the way.
no, but here's the thing. Even if you're talking with an adult, maybe given that answer might not, you know, be the answer the person asking was looking for. So again, for me, whether you're a kid or an adult, when you ask me a question, especially a general one or whatever, even if it's personal, I need to know why you're asking that question. I might even ask you why you're asking me this question because my answer is going to be dependent on why you ask this question because you most of the time you really want to hear something specific, unless you're asking me for something pure general and you want the definition for something, then you know like you said, for example, they wonder how colors work and etc. So um yeah, so then I might give the answer you just talked about.
Nice. Yeah, I think it's depending on the person and like why he asks the question. I'm agreeing with you at this point. If you know
Yeah,
the why he wants what answer he wanted, you will give him to
yeah,
him and make him happy, and that's really
yeah. Well,
interesting.
speaking of questions and asking, you know,
Okay.
um, have you ever thought, um, or for example, when you ask people questions, when everyone here, when you guys ask people questions, right?
Mm.
So you're asking people about their favorite color, you're asking people about their name, any personal information about them, any kind of questions. Even in interview, people ask other people for certain information that then they will take and benefit it in a way or another. So, for example, if we are in an interview and I'm the HR guy, I'll be asking you for, you know, some of your personal information, your educational background, and stuff like that. So I'm asking you questions for you to give me answers that I will assess and evaluate to see if you're going to be a good addition, to my company or firm, for example. But
Mhm.
uh, speaking of asking questions, okay, um, how often do you ask yourself questions? And do you think it's actually essential for someone to ask themselves questions on a regular basis?
I think so, yes. I think every one of us, in every way, well, like for our life, we need to sit with ourselves to ask, like maybe simple questions. Why I wake up today?
Right,
As like I'm like what I do today and stuff. Then it started from simple stuff, simple to deep our souls. As an example, um, what should I do in my life? What should I
yeah,
do to make a specific person in my life I really love and I really admire to be with me? There's a lot of stuff. I think every day, every one of us have think of anything in his life, even if what he will eat tomorrow. So asking
right.
questions is essential in our life.
But these are like the most common or major questions that we ask ourselves maybe every day. But these are not the kind of questions I was trying to highlight. Um, so, for example, this is a habit that I have personally, and I really advise every one of you to do it. Um, the power of asking ourselves questions that we don't normally ask. Believe me, if you do this on a regular basis, and I'll explain more, if you do this on a regular basis, you will get to know really more about yourself. And once you've really learned about who you are, what you like and what you dislike, and what you should be avoiding, or what you should focus on more in your life, you will have, you know, a completely different output. You will really start noticing significant uh, changes in your life, at least how you view things, and you
Mm,
will feel more comfortable. Or for me personally, I do this because it helps me um, um, get or be in a more peaceful state. And also for me, all I care about is to be in a peaceful state. I don't really care if I'm happy or sad or any other emotion. For me, being in a peaceful state is the everyday goal that I really aspire to. So,
okay.
the kind of question,
How you reach this?
right? It might not work every day. I need to part of being in this life is that you have to accept how life is, which is that one day things might work out, other days things might not work out, although you've really tried your best and whatnot. So, uh, not just because I really focus on achieving inner peace, it means that I have inner peace or have been able to acquire inner peace every day, but I really try hard every day. So how to do this, how to really stop being sad after someone does something because you're expecting something else to happen. For example, we all every day have things that happen to us in real life or in Discord or wherever, and
Okay.
you know, you get sad from these things or you get upset or maybe even depressed because it's more of what happened inside your head. You've never really confronted yourself with why you became sad, why you became uh, uh, depressed or whatever, So one way for me to actually handle whenever I'm down and to be in a stable or peaceful state as much as I can is asking questions. We normally ask other people to We normally ask other people questions because we want information from them to use or just out of curiosity or whatever. But really, it's very important to ask yourself questions. And again, I'm not talking about the general questions like, what am I going to eat today? What plans do I have today? You need to ask yourself questions that define your character. Because once you've really learned about your character and who you are, you will
Yeah.
know exactly what to avoid and what you should focus on more. And that is a life-changing thing because now the same things might happen to you that used to make you upset before or even depressed. Now it's not going to be the same result anymore. So, for example, for me,
Mm,
uh, I ask myself, I think uh, the most question or kind of questions I ask myself is, something that starts with why. Why am I going to do this? Why do I want to do this? Why did this happen to me? Whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. If it's a good thing, I want to know exactly why it happened, so I can make it happen more often. And if it's something that made me
mm,
sad, I need to say out loud to myself, why was I upset with what happened? And did they actually have the right to be upset about it? And was it actually the other person or other people who made me upset because of what they did or what they said? Or was it me who actually, got upset because I was expecting something, you know, a different input or output from the other people. So these are the kind of questions I ask myself every day. Why am I going to do this? It could be, I'm not trying to overcomplicate things. Like once you really get used to it, it's not gonna sound or look overcomplicated at all. But for example, if I open up Discord today, I've just woken up, I have the day off today. If I'm going to open up Discord,
mm,
I ask myself, why are you going to do this today? And unless I have a clear answer, recently I would not just open it because if I'm going to just wander around, I'll be more exposed to things that might upset me. So unless I have a clear reason why I'm coming, I want to open up Discord now, I'm not gonna do it. So, for example, I'll be okay. I have friends whom I love, um,
mm,
sorry, I have friends whom I love, and really, I want to talk with them today, or play with them, or hang out, or whatever. I maybe there are a couple of English servers that I'd like to join and practice with other people, hang out and chit chat. I need to have a particular reason for why I'm going to do something, right? And then when I open Discord, okay, I have
mm,
to ask myself, okay, you're going to join this server. Why are you going to join this server? Because again, unless I have a clear reason, mm, I might join expecting certain people to come, certain people not to come. I might expecting certain things to happen or certain discussions to be on the table, but they might not happen, and hence, I might become upset or something. So I need to have clear reasons for what I'm going to do. So that's
mm,
the line of questions I ask myself. It's not that I ask about every single detail in my life because that might sound uh, overcomplicated. But you guys, from my opinion, at least it's working out for me. You need to really ask yourself questions, whether something good happened or whether something bad happened. And before you do something, and after you've done something, at least for a certain period, because no matter how eventful or busy your day is, you're pretty much doing the same thing every day or the same things every day. So it might be a week where you extensively try to figure out why you're doing something and ask. This is a general rule for me. Before I do something, I have to think about it. There's no particular questions I ask. It's you know it depends on that thing that's going to happen or I'm going to say. So I have to ask myself before the thing and then after the thing, and then I'll be like, okay, did things go as I expected, or did something uncomfortable happen to me, for example? And then I write down what happened, and what I should avoid this, what I should avoid next time, what I should focus more the other time,
Mm.
and whatnot. So I think you get your general idea that asking,
I get it.
I,
Yeah.
I, yeah, I really name it the power of thinking or the power of asking ourselves. It really gets you to talk more with yourself because there are things in life that even though you know are true, but because you've never talked about it out loud before, it just like buried down deep. It's not, you think you know it, but you're not really acting as if you know it. So it's really
Mm.
important to talk with yourself out loud in form of questions to know more about yourself. And you have, with the answers that come out, you need to you need to focus more on what makes you comfortable and uncomfortable, not what you desire. Because sometimes we want to do things or say things that we really want to do, we really love to do, we really desire, but every time they end up making us uncomfortable, right? So uh,
Yeah.
you should focus more on things that make you comfortable or not comfortable, not things that you really love to do.
Mm. I think it's about setting a goal. Like this is like you're speaking to yourself, saying what you love and what you are comfortable with and stuff. But at the end of the day, what is the goal? To make yourself, your goal at the end of the day is to make yourself peace. Some others will have a goal
Yeah,
to, I want to be success. So the
yeah,
goal today is to work hard to be success. So I
yeah.
think it's depending on the goal most of the time. And
In a
I
matter of
will add
fact,
to that.
yeah, sorry, yeah.
No, continue. Matter of fact,
Yeah, I was saying, in a matter of fact, the ultimate goal of asking yourself questions and try to learn more about yourself is to be able to determine your own goals, whether the whether the ultimate goal that you wanna work on or focus on in your life now or everyday goals. Like I said, for example, I might wake up today, I'll be like, okay, today I really wanna play with friends or visit friends, hang out with friends, open up Discord. There are like mini goals that once you've learned more about yourself, you'll be able, okay, I really today I want to go out and walk outside. I want to read a couple of books. I want to do nothing at all. You know, once you've defined your own goals, this is really what determines if you're going to be happy for the day or not. If you haven't
mm,
decided any goals at all, your day will be absolutely random, and you'll be swung by the sea left to right. You don't even know
mm,
you're waiting for something happy, for something to make you happy to happen, but you don't even know what makes you happy. You're just, you know, uh, wait for stuff to happen, and hopefully they will make you happy. So once you've learned about yourself, you will be able to determine even every day mini goals, and
mm,
even if you're going to do the same thing that you do every day, but you've decided your goals, you'll be looking at things from a different perspective. And even though it's the same things, really, but really just looking at things from a different angle will make you will result in a completely different thing for your state of mind. It could be the same thing that
We
made you upset every day, but now because you've learned more about yourself and what you should do, not what you desire, you will accept it and you will not even feel offended. Because here's for example common um, a very common thing that happens to all of us. Most of the time, maybe someone will say something that we find offensive, right?
okay.
And we start getting upset, maybe even depressed, because we are like, what did I do to deserve these words to be told to me? I've never done anything wrong in my life. Um, why is that person portraying me as a bad person, or whatever that person said or did? But once you've learned about yourself, and once you need also to ask questions, especially when you feel something is upsetting you. You need to ask yourself questions like, um, should I take this personally or not? Because maybe someone said
Mm,
something really bad to me, and that's the common situation that happens to all of us. Maybe someone has asked us or told us or told me a something that really uh, turned my day upside down in a bad way. But they
mm.
actually said it not because I deserve it. They just said it because of who they are, because I'm not the center of the universe. People normally do things because of how they are, not the receiver. It's if someone gives something, an action or a word, they said it or they did it because they
They want to.
they
They
want
want
to.
to
They
do it,
thought
but
it
like they don't care about your feelings if they hurt it or
right.
not.
Yeah,
Mm,
I just
mm,
feel
mm,
everyone is beneath me, so I'm gonna make
mm.
fun of everyone out there. So for me to feel offended, like no offense to anyone here, if you're feeling offended, someone who just came to you and said bad things about you for no reason, if you are going to be sad about it, you really you're missing a lot. You need to know that at the end of the day, you really did this to yourself, not the other person, because you know you did nothing to that person, and you have no clue why they said what they said or what they did. So, okay, at this point, I'm going to tell myself, okay, that person said these bad things about me or tried to mock me or whatever, because that's who they are. So I'm not going to take it personally. I'll just ignore it. And here is a good example of being ignorant of things that are irrelevant to me. I should only be, um, I should only be aware of things that, um, are relevant to me, are going to impact me in a way or another.
Wait, wow! Like I want to comment on a lot of stuff you said, but
You
at
can.
some point, yeah, I will. Don't worry. At some points in our lives, also, we we need to be random. I will say it. Chaos
Right,
sometimes as a good is a good thing because at the end of the
right,
day, you will see what you will go.
right.
Maybe someone will just having on you and like telling to you, "Oh, I think you are good in this," and maybe you are really good in this, and give you another perspective. But if you strict with
Right.
one plan and is going with it every day, I don't think that will happen to bump off of this person again.
Okay, so you might have the impression that when I said I keep asking myself a lot of questions every day, that I really have a very organized day and I know exactly what I want and what I want to do. But believe me, in my life, it's the complete opposite. But
Mhm.
um, my why I do this is to make things that bother me or make me uncomfortable less often to happen. So it's not about planning and
Mm.
researching every single move. Sometimes I wake up, you know, and I'm like, I'm not gonna have any plans for today. I'll just, you know, fly or go with the wind or whatever. I feel like opening Discord, just open it, go there, go here, go there, play with this, talk with this, just go outside, exercise, or not do anything at all. Just,
Mm.
you know, watch Facebook Reels or Instagram Reels or whatever. It's okay if you wanna not plan about your day, but you need to, um, like I said, you need to explore yourself first and see if this really fits you because you might be not planning for your day at all, and every day you feel like it was wasted. So at the end of every day, you feel down, you feel upset, and you're not really sure why you're upset or down. And simply because,
Mm.
for example, because you don't feel like you have done anything useful or you don't have an organized day. That could be you, for example. That it could not. It could also be me. It could be a lot of people, but it could also be some other people really like the days to be random and not have any you know uh, plans at all. So the point of you trying to learn about yourself and really ask yourself as many questions as you can is just to learn about yourself. And whenever something bad happens, you work on not making it happen again. And if something makes you happy, you need to really know what specifically makes you happy. Because, for example, you might say, this group
Mm.
makes me happy, but that's really a very general thing. There are particular things or particular people that make you happy. So you really need to be, when you ask yourself the kind of questions I'm telling you, um, you will know exactly what makes you happy, what makes you sad, and that's the whole point of asking yourself, you know.
Yeah, I will say I agree with you, but I will agree with you in this point is you need to ask yourself every day. That's what I think. And I have a question
Um,
relating to this,
right,
if I
yeah,
may ask you.
sure.
What is controlling uh, you more, your heart, your mind, or your mind?
Controlling my what, sorry?
What is
Sorry.
controlling you as you, Randy, more, your
Yeah,
heart
what?
or mind?
Um,
You as Randy itself.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, I think everyone is emotional to a certain degree, but honestly, for me, I I tend to be more intellectual or use my mind more. So, which is a really good thing sometimes, and a really, really bad things out of times, because you always need to balance things out. But I would say that 95% of the times I think as much as I can before I let out of any emotion.
So you will think first before you letting out your emotion, like
It
not the
doesn't happen
emotion will
all.
let out first.
It really depends, and it really requires practice because I
Mm.
was really emotional at some point, and then like anyone who's really emotional, it's not really that good. You'll be taking everything personally, and will be sad. You'll be sad more than you'll be happy. So I had to have that sitting with myself, and I was like, I need to start to or I need to start using my brain and my mind more when things happen or when I'm going to
Mm.
react to things or whatever. So it really requires practice. A day after day, these things are things you can practice and get trained for every day. It's not gonna work from the first day, maybe not the first week, maybe not even the first month, you know. But for
Practice
me,
makes perfect.
right. And that really even applies to your character because some people think if you were born emotional, for example, you can never change that. If you have a certain characteristic uh, or interpersonal skill or whatever, some people think that they never can change it. You can never, if you're angry or you have anger issues, you can never control your anger. If you are um,
Wow.
if you are easily offended, some people think you can never change that, but really you can. But you have to first admit the problem that you have. You need, for example, to say first, well, okay, I easily get offended, and whenever someone says something bad about me, I just get offended really quickly, you know. Um,
Mm.
and then you need to ask yourself what should be the alternative? How should I react differently? So maybe I will end up knowing that, for example, if someone insults me, most of the time they do it because of what they did, not what I did or anything I did or say. So I'll be like, okay, even if someone comes to me and keeps insulting me with the most like the biggest insults out there, whatever, I'll be like, I won't really get offended at all. It doesn't mean I won't take an action, but I won't get offended at all because I know I did nothing. I know that it's just them uh, who really have problem uh, respecting other people. It's not that I don't deserve respect. It's them who lack uh, how to respect other people. So maybe I
Mm.
will have to go through some emotional damage, if you will, a couple of times, and then I I then can work things around and okay,
To
but
prove your point, like I just have this quote. It's like
right,
if you want to change the world, if you want to change the world, start with yourself. Because literally, the little things in yourself, it's you start to change. It's changing a lot of stuff. As an example, if you change your anger itches, now no one can irrigate you to fight or something like that. No one can
yeah,
like if you have problem with lies. Now you
right,
want to just say truth. Like
mm,
it's yeah, it's a life changing thing. Yes, as I said.
yeah. Um, but again, being emotional is not a sign of weakness, you know. Um,
Mm,
what I want to say is it's important to balance things out because in the beginning I said that being more intellectual and less of an emotional person, it can be a really good thing. So, for example, it's really hard for someone to irritate me or provoke me, okay? But at the same time, sometimes you have to let your emotions out. Maybe I'll never pay attention to a stranger insulting me or hurting me in any way because I really don't care. They're not any part of my life. But if someone I love or someone close, uh, and I just you know because of me being intellectual, sometimes I already justify what why people did something that hurts me and I really accept it. I know that they did it because maybe they have went through bad things in their lives. Maybe they were pressured. Maybe you know they had a lot in that day. So I easily can justify people's actions because I'm using my brain most of the time. But then at some point later, you might regret that you didn't really let your emotions out because when you justify the actions, for example, they did not stop or they repeat, they repeated the thing again because you didn't really express, you know, any emotions to whoever, did something to you. So
mm,
my My advice is that you should really balance between being an intellectual person and an emotional person. Okay. If you think you want to be sad because something happened, be sad and really take your time to be sad. It's not a sign of weakness at all. It's weak for you to stay in that state without trying to get out of it. So if someone said something to me and I really felt offended and I just feel like I want to be sad, take a corner, not speak with anyone, I'll do this maybe for a day, for two, or for as much
Mm.
um, as I think I need. But then, uh, but then later, as much whenever possible, I will start getting up again and admitting the situation, confront the person with what they did, and then say start taking actions. So because really some people confuse this with being weak. To be a strong person,
Mm.
it's not about you never having any emotions at all. It's about when you go through certain emotions, you get out of of this negative state, you know, whenever possible.
Depression. Yeah, I know. Like at the end of the day, it's you choose to keep
It's
down or to get up.
right,
But
yeah, but it's okay to feel pain. It's okay to be sad. It's
yeah, of
okay if
course.
you want to cry out. These are not sign of weakness. It's a sign of
Mm.
weakness if you continue doing this and not attempting to, get out of it.
That's fascinating. Yeah, it's. I will say it's maybe normal for me to say that. Maybe it's normal for you, but sometimes normal for me or you, it's not normal for others. So I think that's a good question to ask you next. What do you think is normal? What's normal?
Well, um, there is if something happens, it's normal because it happened, right?
Yes.
So sometimes you wonder why did someone do something, for example, or why did he do something, for example. But just because it happened, it means it is normal. There are particular reasons for that thing that made it happen. But if you're wondering about what should be normal for you, that will take us back to again
Yeah.
learn more about yourself because
Mm.
sometimes you do things and you didn't know what is going to be the outcome of what you did and what you should expect and not expect, but if you really, which I that's why I started with this um
Mm.
point of the topic. It's really important for people to learn about themselves because then they will know what they do and why, and then they will know what's normal and what's not. I'm not
Was
going to
not.
say normal, what they do and what they expect from others when they do what they do, right? But as a
Mm.
general rule, people are different. People are built in a different way. So, what you think is normal might be really the
Different.
complete opposite for the other person, especially in social interactions, uh it's really there's no normal in social interactions. There might be something that's kind of common, people are expected to do that particular thing when this particular things happen, for example. But
Mm.
as the general rule for me, I don't have any expectations from anyone. I do stuff because I want to do them. I know exactly why I did them.
I.
So the output or the outcome from the receiver, uh, I'm not really waiting for a particular thing to happen. So regardless of how
Mm.
they react, I don't really care. If I'm going to do something good, for example, um, I I'm gonna do it because I've now learned more about myself. I know that, for example, I'm gonna do good things for the sake of Allah, for religious purposes, or just because it makes me happy. That's why I'm going to do something good. And how people react to it, the person who received the help, for example, from me, how they react is irrelevant. If he really
Mm.
was appreciative and he showed me gratitude or whatever, that can make me happy. But if they do something unexpected, then it's okay because my action started from me, you know,
Mm.
that, which should mean that I did it for a particular reason that was relevant to me, not the receiver.
Can I put you in a situation, please?
Sure.
Like there is a situation for me.
Right.
Maybe in like it's normal to Western, not like to Americans to just like kiss and hug. Okay,
Right.
and in your culture it's different. So as an
Right.
example, if a friend from yours is American stuff, he joined and like your house and he start shaking your hand and hug you, and he immediately going for your wife, want to shake
Right.
hand
Yeah.
and
It's
hug.
I
In
understand.
this case,
Yeah.
it's normal for him. That's yeah, it's normal to shake hand and just hug,
Mm,
but it's
right.
not normal for you. So how you will deal with this?
Right.
Mm.
So I'm a person who usually consider uh, proactive approaches rather than reactive things after they happen. So, for example, if I'm going to, it's not just about foreign people. Even if I have friends, for example, not every single one of them I have introduced to my family. I only introduce those who I know uh, can fit in my house morally, and mindset wise, So I know that they're good. They will never put me in that situation. So
Mm.
if I have to invite a foreign person for whatever reason, I will
And
have
that's
to
happened before.
familiarize him with our traditions and stuff because I know that this might happen. So I will um I will let them know about it so it doesn't happen in the first place. Well, let's just say for whatever reason it happened, you know. Um,
Mm.
I won't take a personal action because I know that my wife or whatever part member of my family they will not let it happen in the first place. Like they will take a step back or whatever.
Mm.
It's not gonna really the action is not gonna complete to the end or whatever. So they will take a stand back and you know uh the other person will know something is wrong, and then later I will explain to him why. And it actually happens quite often in videos we see or watch on the internet where
Mm.
sometimes there is a Muslim girl or woman in a particular sport. They've won the trophy or something, and then in a foreign country, and then the president of that sport or tournament or whatever, he shakes hands with all the people, the participants, and then
But,
when they
mm.
approach a Muslim woman, she withdraws her hand or you know so that's going to happen, I know, but I will have to explain uh, to the person later why, why we did not really accept what he did. But even if he did something and the action took its all calls, I,
Mm.
I, I, I will, of course, I will take an action, and it's going to be a firm action in a way or another, but in a way that I know that the person did not mean to disrespect to me or my family in any way. I, so it's gonna, you will have to balance out between taking an action and preventing it from going on as much as you can. And but at the same time, you know that the person did not mean or intend for anything bad at all. And again, I
Mm.
am more of a proactive approach in person. So for that thing to happen in my life or with me, I think it's unlikely to happen because if I'm going to invite a foreign person to my house and there are women or girls, I know that this might happen because that's their tradition. So I will have to give him a heads up before he comes about it.
That's really good, yeah. By the way, that's prove my point in somehow like normal for me and normal for you. Maybe it's not normal for the others. So I think normal, it's perspective wise anyway.
Mm,
Uh, if you have something normal in your life, maybe it's not normal in
mm,
others' people's life. So
yeah,
I think we need to acknowledge sometimes we maybe need to see the other perspectives in every
abs.
different angle. Yeah.
Um, I'm maybe for me, I might not work hard to learn more about the perspective of other people, but I just know my perspective, and I just know that other perspectives exist. So whenever someone does something, say something, I I will try to think about it before I uh, react in any way, because again, it's very important for me to understand why someone said something or did something, because my reaction is going to be dependent on that. You know, if someone insults me for no reason, it's going to be very silly of me to even pay attention to him in any way. But I know if someone, for example, a friend of mine insulted me because, for example, he thinks I did something bad to him, then even though he's insulting me, I'll try to calm him down, for example, um, because I know that he has a misunderstanding about something. Maybe someone else we fought together, and just he then decided to insult me out of disrespect as a way to, you know, hurt my reputation or whatever. Maybe my reaction would be more aggressive in that particular situation. So it's all dependent on why someone or why someone and how someone did something or say something. That's going to dictate how I, react eventually.
That's fascinating. Yes, I think this topic was like I take a lot of knowledge from it. So I think your time to ask a question for me.
Um, well, speaking of asking questions again, so I'm going to just ask you simply, why
Mm.
did you come up with this idea of inviting people to come here? This colloquies thing. Why did you think you want to do this? Did you have particular reasons for doing this? And or was it just
Mm.
an English an activity for people to, I'll just let you answer instead. You, yeah, if you may, of course.
No, no, it's okay. It's just like building up from very start of joining a server and like implementing the personality and stuff. So I was having something I say to people when they want me to introduce myself. Always I will say what I want to people to know me by my thoughts and my way of thinking,
Right.
not my background.
Mm,
So after like when I was thinking about this more and more and more and more, like I was sorting of having an idea of after some old members saying to me like, "You like a man in a radio. You can speak. You can handle a conversation,
right.
kind of stuff. So
Mm,
can you make topics and stuff?" So like I was sort of like have a lot of thoughts of like making something like that, but not
mm,
knowing the person.
right.
Just like two people in a dark room speaking without knowing each other about anything, just speaking. That
Right.
was the original idea in my mind. But like, let's improve it. Let's improve it. It's coming in this way, colloquy way. Yes.
So, do you think it's really important to know more about the person you're talking with?
And more as a personality, yes, not more as information, as an ID information.
You know, I
Because
mean, like
I can
how,
get you,
right?
like, what do you mean?
I mean, do you really care to understand how every person you're interacting with, you really want to know why, I'm sorry, like how they think, or their philosophy, or whatever. Did you, as Jax, do you really care
I
to know about every person you're interacting with?
I think everyone have its own philosophy. I'm agreeing with this. But if you take someone philosophy and try to implement it yourself, uh, like the same way, it will be a bad
Mm,
thing. But if you take his philosophy and
right.
adjust it to be with you,
Mm,
it will be a great thing because now we are changing to a better person. Now it's also depending on the person experience and stuff. So I think you will not go to ask like a gang members, can you give me your philosophy? I do. I think he will kill you as a point. So it's irrelevant in this case. But you choose the people who you want to speak to, and you choose the people that you want to change to also. As an
mm,
example, if you want to be chef business, like okay, now I need to go to criteria of people who have money, who can handle money. So now I need to take this approach to be like someone like this.
mm,
But at the end of the day, um, for me, I'm pretty random. I want to see now. I think I can handle to see a lot of personality, a lot of philosophies. Now to see to choose one of them to be mine or not, it will be at the end, but not right now.
mm. Okay.
So yeah,
Well,
wow.
for me, sorry.
No, continue.
Yeah. I was gonna say that for me, honestly, sometimes I just don't care how the other people think unless I think it's relevant. So unless I think I really need to know more about the other person, um, I think I normally don't care how the other person is thinking. Is he having a good philosophy, for example, or not? Honestly, for me, most of the time I don't care unless I think there is a reason to, you know, to do so. But yeah, that's it.
That was fascinating, by the way. I'm really happy for you to talk in this beautiful hour. And like the last question for me for you, can you give me a question for the next guest?
Well, sure. Um, that's really weird, but
Yeah.
we've already got that far. So I want you to ask the other person why why are they going to accept your invitation and become a guest in this house? Why did they take this chance?
Wow. Okay,
Yeah,
that's a good question. I will ask. Yeah,
right.
nice, nice.
So, yeah.
Okay.
And I actually would like to ask everyone here as well, like, why I'm not trying to, you know, I'm not trying to make people leave, this event. I'm just trying to say that you people also should ask yourselves why are you coming here every day or every event? So, yeah.
Interesting. I will say we like we just by the way, yes, that's a great question for me, but like I will just say we take a glimpse from a personality of Randy, and thank you for sharing your thoughts. And that's like just a glimpse of his iceberg, guys. That's was fascinating for me and for everyone. And I think I'm really grateful for you, Randy, for today,
It's
and thank
really,
you for your time.
it's really my pleasure, and I really hope uh, people enjoyed this.
Okay,
And if you guys haven't, you should. No, I don't
we
think.
will.
I'm sure you guys
Uh,
enjoyed it. Well, yeah, so
yeah, yeah, we will speak about it.
yeah,
Okay, guys,
yeah,
thank you, and let's
yeah.
have fun.
Thank you,
Bye
and
bye.
I just wanna say hi to my friend Rusty. That's it. Like shout
You are
out to my
yeah,
friend.
you are now in TV, Rust, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone, and let's go to our normal life. Bye bye.
Bye bye.